So if you're watching this after the live stream, we're just going to wait a little bit, let some people hop on. We're going to be talking about the second annual Turtleman Classic, the first ever Dungeon Supermatch series. We'll be going over the athletes on the card. We got 9 mega matches. We'll talk a little bit about the Dungeon Tour, the pay-per-view, how to get tickets for the in-person event. Yeah, so we'll be talking about a whole bunch here. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Let me know in the comments. Yeah, so if you haven't been watching the other lives, I've been doing a live before I lift in the morning. This one's a little earlier than normal, so we might not get too many people, but we're going to see how it goes. Oh, looks like we got some people. Thanks for watching. If you got any questions about Turtleman Classic, hey, what's up, Caleb? Thanks for watching, but I am a little... Did you miss practice Saturday? I can't remember. Were you missing Saturday or were you at practice? Well, I know you weren't at practice yesterday, so we're going to have a talk about missing practice. But yeah, we'll see. But speaking of that, Caleb is going to be one of our camera guys September 5th and September 6th, the first ever Dungeon Supermatch series and the second annual Turtleman Classic. Hey, what's up? EX2, thanks for watching. Oh, yeah, now I remember. But yeah, it should be good. Practice yesterday was good. Ron the Assassin was there. He was there early. Besides me, he was the first one there. And I gotta say, I think he is extremely fired up for this match with Bill. It's gonna be good. Let's see. Yeah, man, we got some work cut out for you. We got a lot of work. It's gonna be fun stuff being a cameraman. Caleb will be doing. He'll be interviewing the athletes the day of September 5th for the super matches. What's up, Aura? Greetings from America. You're over in Indonesia. We're over in America. Greetings. Thanks for watching. But yeah, it's going to be a good time. If you like arm wrestling, you picked the right channel. We'll be talking about arm wrestling, not just any arm wrestling. We got some very impressive arm wrestling coming up. The first ever Dungeon Supermatch series, September 5th. It's going to be a pay-per-view event. There's going to be in-person tickets available. The tickets for the event, if you want to watch it live in person, are $30. That money is given to the Turtleman charity. If you are able to make it live, you want to watch, and you still want to watch these awesome matches, you're gonna. Plan A is watch the in-person, buy the tickets. Plan B, I would say, is definitely watch the pay-per-view on STONEtv. So it's going to be a paid membership. It's going to be $9.99. Um, Now the YouTube pay-per-view is the only money that's not going to be given 100% to the charity. Um, YouTube takes a chunk, and then whatever YouTube doesn't take, we're going to break up for the athletes, the referees, um, stuff like that, and then give whatever's left from that to the charity as well. Um, so what the charity is Turtle Man. If you guys don't know, Turtle Man's real name was Danny DeMichael. Unfortunately, he passed away about 2 years ago, a little under 2 years ago, due to a drunk driver. So all the team got together. We put on this event in his honor, and also too, we take the money, we give it to Danny's wife. She takes the money, puts it in an account for a college fund. So there is, I don't remember the exact amount, but there is more than $6,500. That's what we raised last year. So our goal this year is to raise more than that. So, hopefully by the time Danny's daughter is in school, she won't have to worry, at least at the financial part, she won't have to worry about as much, hopefully. But that's what the Turtle Man charity's for. In case anyone's wondering. If you guys have any questions for me, let me know. Gabe, I appreciate that. Thanks for watching. You probably got a real, you got a busy life. So I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy life to watch my YouTube. If you got any questions for me, let me know. I'd be happy to answer them. What's in the juice, man? You know what's in the juice? Even though you're actually one of the athletes, James, but I usually do like a little guessing game with the juice, as you call it. Anybody that can guess all the ingredients gets a free ticket to the in-person event, September 5th, where you have a match with Tim Lewis. So it's going to be interesting. Speaking of that match, let's start talking about the matches. I know, James, I asked you the question yesterday, but how are you feeling for your match? Has anything changed? Has the confidence gone up? You feeling better? Have you been watching videos, maybe studying your opponent, Tim Lewis? So James George Mason is pulling Tim Lewis in a best of 5 right arm. It's going to be very interesting. Actually, I didn't put any honey in this one this time. It's no honey. Sometimes I put honey in it, but this one doesn't have honey in it today. But let's see. So James and Tim, I keep on saying, like, this is the battle of the bullet versus the bulletproof vest. One wants the match to stop, one wants the match to stay dynamic, wants it to be fast. So I think it's going to be interesting. I think both athletes have to play their cards right. I think both athletes have definitely have an advantage. Yep, that's right. I put a little bit of I can't remember, not table salt, but like I think it was sea salt or something There's a little sea salt in there. So you got one right. That's one. That's correct. The next match, I was talking about Assassin earlier. I was saying he was all fired up. He's all pumped up. I haven't seen him fired up like this. I don't think ever. The closest I've seen him this fired up was at Worlds in 2020, if I'm not mistaken. Oh boy, James says I think little Timmy needs to train and take a break. Oh boy, we're gonna have to maybe I can make a screenshot of that and send that over to Tim. We can make a little smack talk video, maybe. You know, it'll be fun. But yeah, Tim, he definitely has a match. I've been joking around a lot. I keep on saying he has a super match every 3 or 4 days. He has a super match. So he's definitely been active. I just saw him have a match. I want to say it was last weekend with somebody. No, it's too early. Plus, I don't really drink, So Jeffrey, no vodka in my pre-workout. I'm sure there's somebody out there that puts vodka in their pre-workout, but I'm getting ready to lift. So vodka is not in the drink today, but appreciate you for guessing. Hey, what's up, Carolyn? Thanks for watching. Yeah, the High Chief alone. I mean, even if we only had one match, I agree that the High Chief alone is worth taking the trip. Is worth the admission to the tickets. He always puts on a show. Oh boy. Oh, I don't know if you guys can see that, but James says he's not on my level. Said he's talking about Tim, his opponent. He says he's 5 feet tall. Be careful making fun of people's height in arm wrestling. I think the last person that made fun of someone's height was that Mask Nugo match. So be careful, James. Be careful. Oh, I appreciate that, Carolyn. Appreciate that. Telling everyone to like and share. That's very appreciated. The Assassin should come out to My Time Is Now by John Cena. That could be a pretty good one. That's a pretty good one. We're gonna. Oh, actually, speaking of that, James, I keep on forgetting. But if you have a intro song, shoot me. Let me know what song it is. We're getting the intro song set up. So let me just check. Let's see. No, Caleb. Caleb says if you get that drink from Peasley, God only knows what's in it. Never eat or drink anything that Peasley has touched. You're probably safe. Don't touch anything Peasley has touched. It's a safety issue. Caleb, if you have drinking something that Peasley has given you, you should probably get checked out. That's all I'm going to say. We'll leave it at there. What's up, Drew? Thanks for watching. What you missed, we just talked a little bit about just 2 matches so far. Actually, we only really talked about one so far, James Mason and Tim Lewis. But we're just going to talk about Turtle Man. Also, I don't know if you missed it. If Peasley gives you a drink or food, don't eat or drink it. It's a safety issue. Yeah, I agree. Carolyn the Great. She's awesome. Oh, I'm curious. I'm wondering what your song's gonna be, James. It's seeing that video you made. I don't know if you remember, if people saw that video James made. But I just All I'm saying is that he put like nipple tape on. He put some X's to cover his nipples so he didn't get blocked on Facebook, and that must have really hurt when you pulled them off. You know that the tape, it was like it looked like some heavy duty industrial tape. So if you guys want a good laugh, go check out that video. Um, so we were talking about Ron Assassin. James says I didn't post it. Yeah, I posted it. I posted it on Facebook. Gorilla tape. Oh, that's rough. You're sick. You're a sick bastard, James. Um, but that being said, it's going to be a good match. You know, so that's why you got the spot. You know, it's going to be a good match. But yeah, check my Facebook. I know I definitely posted on Facebook. I'm pretty sure I posted it on YouTube. If not, I should probably do that. But it's definitely up on Facebook. Let's see. So the next match I want to talk about is Ron the Assassin Amini versus Bill Sinks. Now, I was telling you how fired up Ron is. Also, Bill Sinks is going on a tear recently. You know, he's been winning a lot. He's had some really tough opponents. Let's see. We'll find out. We'll see what hurts more. You know, your nipples or Tim's hands. You know. Now, if you don't know what we're talking about, that sounds really weird. But we're talking about arm wrestling. But let's see. Oh, I'll post it on YouTube. I must have forgot, but I'll post that video up on YouTube too. Because it's a good one, and you know, he put some good work. Let's see. Thanks for watching, Sneered. All right. Thank you very much, Carolyn. That looks like you are the first person to sign up for the pay-per-view event. So that's bragging rights right there. I think you're number one. So thank you very much. That's awesome. Yeah, definitely. Everything's strong. The nose is strong. You know, it's actually the angle. You know, but I appreciate it. You know, you're a busy guy too, so I appreciate you taking the time. Take a comment. If you got any questions, let me know. Turtle Power, you know, Turtle Man Classic. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be a great time. But yeah, Bill Sinks he just pulled Vladimir, who is an extremely strong opponent. He might have had like 15, 20 pounds on him, so he's got some crazy power. But I think this match, you know, I gotta be respectful to all the athletes, so I'm not giving my my predictions on who is gonna win, unless I truly believe something like this, where I think this match is going to be 3-2, and I can't tell who's going to win. I think it's going to be all the way to the end. Let's see. Oh, and I forget about that. He beat Miguel too. That's Miguel is he's no joke. You know, he's a good puller. He's got like 14, 15 years of experience, plus he's got the power. He's got the power there. All right, let's move back to the ladies match. So Carolyn says, let's go Kyla, East Coast, Beast Coast. Now, it's hard to say. The way I've been looking at it is it's kind of like the classic battle of power versus technique. One athlete is coming into her first super match. Uh, um, as in Candy, she might have 10, she might have 15 super matches. So that's a good amount of super matches. So she's got the experience. She's got she's got the years on her in terms of experience as well. But I'm very curious about this match. They're meeting at 140 pounds. Candy is going up in weight. Kyla is going down in weight. They're meeting at 140. So it should be interesting. It should be very interesting. Where'd you get that information from, James? You said you've been informed Kyla eats candy for breakfast. Now, are you talking about actual candy? Or you're talking about Candy, the athlete, because sometimes you have to clarify, but yeah, let me know. You're talking about Candy, the candy, or Candy, the athlete? Yeah, but I'm excited about that match. It's the only match. It's our only ladies match. Either or. James says either or. I think it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very interesting. How do you see it going? How do you see the Kyla and Candy match going? How do you see it going one way? One like super like a 3-0, or do you see it going more like a 3-2 or 3-1? Is it the best of 5? I personally, I kind of see it being maybe I think it's going to be like a 3-1 or a 3-2 kind of thing. The next match that comes to mind is Ron, the High Chief, versus Black Ice. Could be interesting, Could be interesting. James, back to the Kyla Candy match. Do you think? Do you think there'll be an experience advantage? Do you think the experience is going to matter? But yeah, should be interesting. But back to the Chief and Ice match. Oh, James says something in the air up in these mountains in Vermont. Yeah, it's got to be something. Hopefully, it's something good. Not like microplastics or something, but it's probably something good. Another thing too, I keep on. I always mix up. I say Vermont, but then I always think New Hampshire. But yeah, definitely Vermont. That's where you guys are from. I'll remember that now. Carolyn says, "Hail the High Chief. Send Black Ice packing. There can only be one." That is very true. There can only be one High Chief, and that's what this match is going to decide. I don't know if you saw yesterday, but Black Ice sent me a message. He said he's getting ready to redecorate the dungeon. He said he's getting ready for his new title of High Chief. So things are definitely heating up with this Black Ice and Chief match. Chief used Black Ice's government name, which if you don't know, that's a big no-no. Black Ice is not a fan of being called by his government name, because in his mind, his real name is Black Ice. Yeah, I agree. I think the experiences matter, but maybe a good corner man may be able to counter that. So, yeah, we'll see. It's going to be very interesting. But yeah, the Ice and Chief are pulling both left and right. Yeah, I agree, Carolyn. It's going to be absolutely fireworks. I think it's just going to be crazy. I think these guys are going to be going crazy, on the table. I already made sure to, I got a nice heavy duty table. It's going to be bolted down so no one rips anything off. And it's going to be good. That's a pretty good one. James says Chief will win. Black Ice didn't exist until we paved roads. That's interesting, because that kind of reminds me of like Ice actually started one of his first practices was with Ice. I mean, was with Chief. So for a little bit, Chief actually coached Black Ice. So it's like the student versus teacher. Yep, the handicapped helper. Chief did start taking up smoking, even drinking. He may have a hard time quitting after this match, so we'll have to help him out with that. But yeah, he's taking this match seriously. He's taking every step possible. This definitely could be the match of the year. It definitely could be, and they got two shots. They have two opportunities. They're pulling left and right. Yep, usually that might get more expensive sometimes, depending on which one you go to. I guess handicapped helper. Handicapped helper, you going to make it to the Turtle Man 2 in Connecticut, September 6th? And are you going to make it to the first ever Dungeon Supermatch series? Yeah, I was just about to say, James, I was wondering how Mr. Helper got that name on YouTube. I'm surprised YouTube didn't like ban him or something, or but maybe he just opened. Maybe it's his first time, and maybe we're the first comments, so maybe we're the first person to see it before YouTube blocks it. But I think on like Facebook they blur it out or something. But yeah, it should be good. Very excited. I've trained with both these guys, Ice and Chief. I've been taking some trips down to Pennsylvania, where Ice is from, and so it should be good. Should be good. You're on so what side? Are you on the north side or the south side? What other side? They are. They're being made right now. We'll definitely have them by the tournament. I just don't have them with me. There's two guys making them, so one guy has half and the other guy has the other half. Well, hopefully, if it's not too far of a trip to Connecticut, I would definitely advise September 5th. Check out the Dungeon Supermatch series, and September 6th, the second annual Turtle Man Classic. What do you mean by that, James? This could be Cody Merritt. What do you mean by you talking about the account? You're talking about you think that's Cody? Mr. Helper, are you Cody? What's your real name, Mr. Helper? What's your real name? Carolyn says, "Wow, yeah, that should be the title of this episode. Just we'll call it Wow." Well, let's go on to another match. Let's go to. So these guys are pulling at 167 pounds. No, 176 pounds, if I'm not mistaken. As a super heavyweight, I tend to forget the weight classes. So the first athlete is Sam Mitchell, and the other athlete is Brian Malek. Drew, you walk around at 176. That's perfect. You know why? Because at the Turtle Man 2, we have a 176-pound class. That's perfect for you. Anybody, especially if you're coming from like Las Vegas or something like that, somewhere around that area. It's perfect. So I can't remember if I said it yesterday or not, Drew, but make sure you get down to the second annual Turtle Man Classic, September 6th in Connecticut. It's going to be a good time. Which Batman voice are you talking about? Are you talking about like the tough guy one or not the tough guy one? You talking about like the Adam West one? Adam West voice, or are you talking about the angry guy? Just don't, Mr. Helper. Just don't tell anybody where you got this idea from, and if you do, tell him James Road Mason. It was his idea. If you have to tell somebody, tell him it was James. He'll appreciate it. Let's see these. All right, so like if I was these homemade pre-workouts, I'll tell you what this one is. It's just a little bit of caffeine. So I buy like caffeine pills. They're super cheap on it's like you could get a whole entire year's worth of caffeine for like $10 or something. This one has 200 milligrams. I just put some lemon juice, a little salt, and some collagen powder. That's all this one is. Just lemon juice, salt, and some collagen powder, caffeine. That's all it is. It's just real simple, but it's something nice. The lemons have the vitamin C, which is good for your tendons. Which the collagen has the collagen tendons, which is good for your tendons. And the caffeine is just, it's caffeine. I feel like almost everyone is addicted to caffeine. But yeah, that's all it is. That's all it is. If I used to do the energy drinks, but they're not the best for you. Plus, I think a lot of them use sugar, alcohol, or whatever. They're all 0 calorie, but if you look, they're all 0 calories, but they have like 5 or 6, carbs or something like that. So there's got to be something like that in there. And this is it's a lot cheaper too. Like the energy drinks are like $4 a piece, and this is I think it's like 40 cents to make the pre-workout or something like that. Because the lemons is the most expensive thing, I think. No, I take that back. The collagen powder is. So maybe it's like $1 or $2 because the collagen powder is a little pricey, but still pretty good. I'll tell you what, Drew, if you can figure out that, that teleportation device, you got yourself a pretty good business right there, So good luck, Godspeed, and hopefully it works out for you. If not, maybe we'll see you at the third annual event. That's a great question from Carolyn. She says, Drew, do you think it will make it to the Turtle Man Classic next year? It's mandatory. If you miss the first two, you have to make the third. It's a rule. Yeah, I got sidetracked. Back to the Sam Mitchell. So James says Sam Mitchell is a little monster. He's a little monster, but he's got some giant arms for being only 176 pounds. He's got some giant arms. So it's going to be interesting. One guy is a more of a supinated hooker. One guy is more of a top roller, maybe even a high hooker. So it's going to be very, very interesting. So Mr. Helper says it's Peasley. It's always Peasley. So you're telling me that Mr. Helper is Peasley? Is that what you're saying? I don't think so. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Oh. Drew says he's answered Carolyn's question. He says, doesn't really travel. Vegas has all he needs pretty much. But I'll tell you one thing Vegas doesn't have, Drew, the second annual Turtle Man Classic. So maybe there's a chance. All I'm saying is there's a chance that we'll see you. Maybe be careful with those, buying something called the stay awake pill. Make sure it's just caffeine and not anything extra, because they make like these stay awake pills for truckers, and they're a lot more than just caffeine. So be careful with that. Make sure it's just caffeine. But I use real lemons. I don't know what that lemon juice stuff. I don't know if that's real lemon. I think I think what they use, it's like lemon oil, and then they water it down or something, or they lemon oil mixed with water. So but the others, the bottle is a lot easier. It's not too hard squeezing lemons, but it could be tedious sometimes. A whole bunch of lemons. Yeah, so what vitamin C is good for the tendons, it kind of keeps your tendons elastic. The vitamin C it keeps them elastic. Yeah, the collagen peptide powder is good. You just got to make sure, you got to mix it with something good. Otherwise it's got that taste to it, just the collagen, all the collagen peptides itself, so that's why I put some lemon juice in there and it tastes good. Oh, sorry, James. I know it's a tough burden, but that's the price. That's the price it pays to come up with great ideas. All right, that's that wouldn't be my first choice for Batman, James. But that's everyone could pick their own. It's pretty good. I'd probably go. I don't know. Maybe the one from the 90s, I guess. That's the one I used to watch a lot as a kid. I don't know the actor. I can't remember his name. I think it might have been the Beetlejuice guy. I think the same actor. Let's see. Let me check some of these comments. Yeah, that's a good idea, Drew. You can just go to the airport with a sign and says, you win, you get $1,000. If you lose, you buy me a ticket to the second annual Turtle Man Classic. It could be onto something there. So, Helper says, I'm just Pinky Peasley is the brain. He gives me all my ideas. So that's that mouse cartoon reference. If I'm not mistaken, it's called Pinky and the Brain. It was a pretty good cartoon, if I remember correctly. But it's interesting, very interesting. It sounds like, oh, you know what? I think I know who Helper is. And yeah, I think I figured it out. If you're at practice Saturday, we'll talk about it. But be careful. You definitely do not want to be Peasley's Pinky. Don't let him be your brain. It's not safe. That's a good question from Carolyn. She asked Drew, who does he want to pull from the East Coast? I don't know if that's it might be if that's Peasley and not a different guy. Well, I'm thinking, yeah, same question. How come Helper could skip work today but not the 5th? Actually, James, it's the 5th, not the 6th. So make sure you remember it and you don't miss the match. Maybe we could set up an event in Vegas. Should be interesting. Could be doable. Yeah, that organic lemon juice. That's where they get you, especially those organic limes. That's where they get you. Yeah, vitamin C for collagen production. It's good stuff. Oh man, I think I gotta catch up. I think I'm way behind on the chats. Oh, well, that's good that the powder you got doesn't taste too much because the powder I got tastes like I don't even know. Let's see. The Batman I remember the most, maybe it was Michael Keaton. Is that the same actor with the? I remember the Arnold Schwarzenegger one when Arnold Schwarzenegger played Mr. Ice and Poison Ivy was in there. Oh, almost fell for it. I was trying to set you up for the sign, and then I was gonna come in with with a fake mustache and fake glasses, and try to pull for that $1,000. checking some of these comments. All right, looks like I got caught up. Yeah, that would be a fun road trip. Bunch of cool people that all like arm wrestling. It's gonna be a great time. So Helper, my prediction is going to have to stay with me. I'm not giving my prediction on who I think is going to win, mostly out of respect for the athletes on the card. But that being said, I don't see either athlete winning easily, because the Chief has the speed, but Ice has, endurance. He probably he might have more endurance than I've seen anybody, but Chief's got that crazy wicked hit. So I think it's going to be 3-1, 3-2, both arms, something like that. I think it's going to be a barn burner. Oh, yeah. Now that you remember, yeah, I guess it was George Clooney, but yeah, I always forget that. It must be the mask, hides his identity. Maybe that's why I always forget. So Carolyn says the High Chief 3-1 only because he fouls one to Ice. So that is possible, with that crazy hit Chief has. Sometimes it's hard for him to, keep the elbow down. So much speed and power. What match you talking about making a best of 7? Probably not. But what match you talking about? Because best of 7 would be like, it would be for like a championship round. But it's gonna be a best of 5. Talking about the Chief and Ice match, Helper. Yeah, it's going to be a best of 5, but I guess actually, if you think about it this way, left and right, it's like a best of 10, pretty much. I guess in order to secure the spot on as High Chief, both these athletes want the title of High Chief. They're probably going to have to win both arms to lock it in. Let's move to another match. So Paul Passmore will be pulling left and right, but separate athletes. Yeah, pulling both arms. That's a tall order, But we picked the right guys to do it, So Paul's first. Let's start about talk about his lefty match. He will be pulling Justin Bear, lefty. Now Justin is a lefty specialist. He has been spending some time in boxing. He's taking a trip back over to arm wrestling. These guys have been talking about having a match for a very long time, probably 3 years at least. And it just so happens that we can put this match on September 5th in the Dungeon, the first ever Dungeon Super Match Series. So it's going to be interesting. Paul's been looking very strong. He's got some good wins recently. He got some great opponents. He's looking very, his arms are looking massive. So it's going to be interesting. I know both Justin and Paul are very sticky, especially when it gets to close to the pin line. Now, if we move to the right arm, he will be pulling James Clark. Now, James Clark might be a little less known in terms, maybe overall, because Paul's definitely been around. He's been on some good promotions. But that being said, James is, he's no slouch. He is, I would say, if he's not number one, he's tied for number one with Paul Cruz. I've trained with him up in Mass. Yep, yeah, I agree with you, James. James says James is a stud now. Hopefully he's talking about, I think he's talking about James Clark, not James as himself, but maybe he is. Either way, we'll find out. We'll get the answer to both of those September 5th. But yeah, Clark has been, he's very strong. He's very fast. He's going to have a longer arm than Paul. It's going to be interesting. It's the classic battle of a hook versus a top roll. Clark and Passmore, it's the classic battle of the top roll versus the hook. I'm excited for this match. It's very, very curious how it's going to go. Should be very interesting. The first time these guys will ever meet too. First time ever meeting, first time ever gripping up. So it's going to be interesting. If I'm not mistaken, I think there's only one match left. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think I missed any other ones. It's going to be a 1 versus 3 match. It's going to be a handicap match. It's going to be myself versus Damien, John, and Andrew. Now, I'm very thankful for these guys stepping up, taking this match. Because without these guys, I wouldn't be a part of as an athlete, I wouldn't be a part of the Dungeon Super Series, the first ever Dungeon Super Series. So this could be history in the making. This could be something that grows into something huge. This could be something that, turns into one of the bigger promotions. But we'll see. It all starts September 5th, noon. But yeah, the match, I'm very interested about it. So it's going to be, the way I win is I get 6 pins on the team of 3, and the way they win is they get 3 pins. Yeah, James, I agree. James says this is a very special promotion. I think it's going to be good. From having a budget of 0, I think we're pulling, I think we're doing some pretty big things for having a budget of 0, because, you, James, but people on the chat, they may not know this is a charity event. So our goal is to make money for the charity. So we didn't have a budget to, fly anybody out or pay for anybody's stay. So every athlete, except for one, there's only one athlete that had a private sponsor, but they're still taking the time. They're still taking off work, but everyone else is taking off work. They're, coming on their own time. They're coming on their own dime. So I'm very thankful for everyone on the card. It's people are making sacrifices. So I'm very thankful. Appreciate everyone. And I hope everyone has a blast. I think it's going to be a blast. It's going to be, a full weekend of arm wrestling, Even if people want to hang around Sunday, I'll be around Sunday. If people want to, can check out the gym or whatever. Yeah, but it's going to be a great weekend of arm wrestling. I agree, Carolyn. Carolyn says the best, the best venue on the East Coast. Definitely. I appreciate that. The lives are building up the hype. Carolyn says, Carolyn says, shout out to Thomas Dearborn for taking his sit-down table and all the other people. Oh, yeah, yep. So Tom, if you don't know, Tom is probably one of the most traveled arm wrestlers there is. You know, let's see, I think he was at every single one of my matches. He was at the Jaeger's match. He was at the Gould match, the Mike Gould match. He was at the the Toshiyuki match, and he was at the Mendagas match. So he's been to all my matches. So he's everywhere. He's everywhere. Plus, he's bringing a sit-down table. Plus, Tom was the guy that donated the signed East versus West T-shirts and the signed East versus West arm wrestling strap. So he donated those to be silent auctioned at the charity. I appreciate that, James. You know, but I wouldn't be able to do any of this without you guys. So right back at you. What do you think about a rematch between Jaegers and Derek Smith? So which arm? I know lefty, I would definitely give it to Jaegers if he's pulling Derek Smith. But righty might go the other way around. I know that's probably what people thought last time. But I'd be curious to see if Jaegers and Smith pull again. It'd be very interesting. So how much notice did I have before the Dulces match? I want to say, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was 2 weeks, 3 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. I think I can't remember. I think it was definitely my shortest prep I've ever done in my athletic career. You know, which I only had. I think I trained for like a week, and I trained for a week and a half, and I rested for a week and a half, and then I did the match. But yeah, it was good. It was good. I mean, not my performance that day, you know, but it was definitely a lesson I needed. It sent I kind of changed a lot of my arm wrestling thinking in terms of, can't really explain it, but you will definitely see what I mean at my next match, you know. Maybe this will explain it. I feel like I've been arm wrestling in my whole entire arm wrestling career as an old school arm wrestler, and now I feel like I evolved to be more of a modern day arm wrestler. So what I mean by that, you will definitely find out in my next match coming up September 5th. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate that. You know, I didn't think I was going to lose. I thought it was like destiny, you know, fell in my lap. This match fell in my lap. Even when I was down 0-3, I had no belief in my mind that I was going to lose. I really thought I was going to come back and win. So, but I think that destiny thing was that good lesson that definitely from that match, I do think I leveled up quite a bit, which is good. You think Mendagas Dulskis is afraid of Derek Smith too? How come? Is it because he's tall? Very tall? Is he have like a tall phobia? Or is Derek you think Derek's scary? That would be an interesting, what do they call it? Through a round robin or something? That'd be interesting. That'd be very interesting. If you guys have any questions for me about what we talked about, anything like that. Did you ask him as like a promoter kind of thing? Did you ask him as a promotion kind of thing, or or more as like a curious arm wrestler, Drew? That's a very interesting question, James. He says, Nick, are you going to be able to live with yourself after smashing your homies? I think it's gonna be tough. I think it's I think it's a good mentally challenge. One of the reasons why I stopped doing tournaments in the local area is I didn't really like potentially hurting people I liked at like tournaments or something like that. So I've been sticking more to super matches. But that being said, I think it's going to be a good challenge to be able to pull all these guys because, like what you said, I'm good friends with all three of my opponents. Uh, we're good buddies. We train together, but we've also, we've gone out and we've eaten like lunch and stuff. And stuff like that. So, yeah, I think it's gonna be tough, but I'll be able to get in the zone because that being said, I am not losing. I am not losing 2 times in a row. I'm not losing on home field. So I'm going to do what I got to do to get this win. And we'll take it from there. Let's see. Let me catch up on these chats. Yeah, Kaylin. So John, Damien, and Andrew. They're all they're all good guys. I like them all a lot. They're good friends. But I'm gonna have to just not to let that be a factor until the match is over. But the way this match, this 1 versus 3 match, wasn't my first. Wasn't my first plan. So originally I did try to get a one match, but like I said before, the budget for this event is 0. Let's see. Just in general. Maybe Mendogs is like under contract with Arm Gods or something. Maybe that's why he was lenient or something. Drew. My walkout song is a secret, James. My walkout song is a secret. Kalen, salute to him. Yep, 3 versus 1 is going to be more fun and very exciting. Very creative. Yep. Yeah, I'm excited. So, I reached out to quite a bit of athletes. Now, most people didn't say no because they didn't want to. Most people said no because we didn't reach their requirements. Once you get to a certain level, usually at a minimum, there is, travel and stay covered. So like at the minimum, athletes aren't losing money with the travel and stay. But we didn't have the budget to do that this year. So I wasn't able to get a one-on-one match. So that's actually, it was Damien's idea that started it. Damien started it because if you can't find anybody, I'll pull you. And then I said, hey, what about what if we do 1-on-2? And then that grew into 1-on-3. I was very worried. At the beginning, I was worried that people were gonna hate, not hate it, but not be a fan of the 1 versus 3. But now I'm thinking that, at least from what people are saying, I think it may be one of the most popular matches, at least going off of the Facebook post and the YouTube post. It's getting the most likes and stuff. But yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. So Drew, nothing to do with contracts issue though. Yeah, maybe that will happen. I'd like to see Mendogas pull Derek. I'd be curious to see what would happen. You heard Devin backed out. What did he back out of? Yeah, so you might be onto something, Drew. We need the 1 versus 3 Levon. Who's your 3? To pull Levon, who's your 3? My 3 would probably be I guess Jerry, Devin, and either Hermes or either Vitali probably. Oh, I agree. I agree, Carolyn. She says Connecticut is going to be the epicenter after the people will be clamoring for a super match next year at your event. Yeah, I agree. And I don't think we talked about this yet. There are 2 spots. If you make it to the overalls and you win the overalls, so there's going to be 2 champions, a left and a right. The winners of the overall are guaranteed a spot on the next pay-per-view. It's gonna be awesome. What so you said Devin backed out at Turtle Man? James, what Devin are you talking about? Yeah, that's a good team, Drew. That's a good team. It just needs to get one. Someone needs to get one slow down, one stop, and then they could start, you know, making it a endurance game. Oh, it's getting serious. I appreciate that, Carolyn. Says no doubt, ain't no one wants to face Nick fully prepped. Oh, so James's team of 3 versus Levon. 2004 John, that's a good one. Now Devin and Vitali. That'd be interesting. That would be interesting. If only we had a time machine. Drew's working on a time machine, so if he gets a time machine, we can make that match happen. Yeah, if it's 3, that'd be 9 pins, 3 each, 9. That's a pretty good match. I mean, endurance wise, 2 more than what he's been training for. Yeah, I agree. Especially super heavyweight Devin. He's probably too big for you know Brasink. But no way. I guess we can't find out. But so far, I don't think so far no one's beaten Levon at this level. So you say that about anybody. I mean, let's see. 105 KG Devin versus Primus Inc. That'd be interesting. That would be interesting. What's 105? What's that? 231 or something? Is that 231? 231 pounds? That'd be a very interesting match. Jerry versus Vitali. Honestly, I'll give you honesty. I think Jerry wins. As long as Jerry starts training, I think it's starting. He was at Mass States pulling. Yeah. So that being said, I'll probably have to take some trips up to Mass, help Jerry train for Vitali. But I think Jerry wins. I don't think it's going to be easy. I think Jerry wins 3-2 versus Vitali. Kaylin says, Nick, you were the champ of the Short Classic, and no one has beat you, so you're the reigning champ, the strongest on earth. I hope Brian has you there again to retain the title. Yeah, that'd be cool too. Plus I got lucky, so I could say this. There was there's 4 arm wrestlers, 2 super matches. Mine just happened to be the first day, so I could say I'm the first ever arm wrestling strongest arm champion or something like that. So that's something fun. I usually, anybody talks about, I usually say that because it's fun to say. But the first ever. Make sure you if you see Brian, make sure you tell him that. Actually, I don't know if you can see it. I actually got that title, that trophy thing up there, like see it over there, that metal thing above the team stone. That's where it is. It's hanging up on the wall. Let's see. Prime Cleve Dean with the Levon diet would be the best. Levon, though, when Brzezinski beat Cleve, he was past his prime. That's what Drew says. I think Cleve Dean, with the nutrition and everything that Levon has, but I still think the biggest factor is I think Cleve would need to. His table IQ would need to be relatively, at least close to Levon's, because Levon he's a pretty smart arm wrestler. He doesn't really make too many mistakes. So I think the technique, he would need the new school technique too. I think, if that makes sense. It's official. I saw a post about that match this morning. So it's gonna be good. So James says, Nick, call out Eddie Hall. Actually, I only met Eddie Hall once. It was at the Shaw Classic, was it 2 years ago, or whatever. And I remember I asked Eddie if he wanted to arm wrestle, and he didn't want to arm wrestle at the time. I don't think because he was scared. I think he just understands the risk of injury, possibly, and but yeah, I'd pull Eddie Hall. Why not? Why not? It'd be fun. Yeah, definitely. We gotta hype that to Brian. Yeah, I mean, probably. I agree. He's probably not ready right now. But maybe 6 months could be. Because he's seems like a pretty smart athlete. He learns pretty quick from at least from what I see. And he's got some really good coaches. Like, he's working with Neil. Neil has got to be one of the best technique guys out there. So he's got a good team. But Eddie likes, so Kalen says, but Eddie likes a nice, easy, non-pro arm wrestling match. Yeah, maybe. I think it's tricky with those strongman guys. Is especially the guys with like Brian Shaw has 2 billion followers on social media. So it's tricky. So I feel like they're trying to find matches that will be good, but also someone with equally or not equally, but somewhat respectable social media following, if that makes sense. Let's see. Robert Oberst. Or Nick Best. More fun. I think I skipped one. That'd be an interesting match. Maybe Oberst just might be, I mean, Nick Best is super strong, but he just might be a little too big frame-wise for Nick Best. I think Nick Best is super strong, but I think he's like 6 foot compared to Robles like 6'5", and that just might be too much for him to deal with, as a first time kind of thing. I think he's definitely getting into it. I think a lot of these strongmen will definitely get into the arm wrestling. They're great entertainers. They're good with the crowd, and I think a lot of them will like the same thing. Like, I only did one strongman competition, but I spent most of my time powerlifting. And one of the things I liked about arm wrestling is compared to powerlifter and a strongman, it's pretty low risk. Like, worst case scenario is you break your arm or pop a bicep or pop a pec. Worst case scenario. I guess worst case scenario is you break a bone and then you sever an artery. That's probably worst case scenario, but that's extremely rare. But most of the time, the worst case scenario in arm wrestling, if you have to, you'll be able to walk to the hospital. Versus like powerlifting a strongman, worst case scenario, you're gonna break your back, break your neck. That's worst case scenario. Even cripple yourself. So it's just as much fun, just as much competition, but with a lot less risk. So that was one thing that kind of drew me into arm wrestling once I started practicing. So Drew says Eddie's gonna start training again for arm wrestling. I think so too. Yep. Let's see. Yeah, I agree. I think Eddie definitely likes the MMA more than arm wrestling. He also too probably knows that he probably has less time to do it, so maybe that's why he's doing it now. You know what I mean? Like, versus like when he's 50, he might have a hard time fighting, but if he's 50, he will not have a hard time arm wrestling. Maybe that's what he's thinking. Let's see. Kaylin says, Nick, which one of these Georgians would you like to pull, if any? Any of them, I guess. I would like to pull. Definitely maybe one day Levon, right? Isn't that the goal isn't that the goal right now for everybody? But yeah, I would pull any Georgian, I think. I don't think I would refuse a match, especially at that level. But yeah, I'd pull any of them. I've only had one match with a Georgian, and it was when I first started. It was when Zaza entered the super heavyweight division, and so right now I'm undefeated. I haven't lost to a Georgian. I've only won, so I have a pretty good record against Georgians. So maybe that's my secret move, is secret technique. Yeah, maybe at least I'm gonna need at least 6 months. At least 6 months, Carolyn, and then we'll start talking to promoters. Gennady, oh man, yeah, that'd be interesting. That would be interesting. Maybe it will be the next match at that what's it called? The Georgia versus the World. The new promotion thing. Maybe that's the next match. All right. Oh yeah, Dexter. You got to hype it up to Dexter. Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd definitely be great. That'd be greatly appreciated if you guys take the time out of your day to do that for me. I greatly appreciate that. But if not, no worries. I understand people are got jobs and stuff, got families. Dustin, hey, what's up, man? Yeah, Turtle Man, it's gonna be a great time. It's gonna be a great time. It's gonna be awesome. Let's see. Oh, he's under contract. Both arms? Is he under contract? Both arms? Maybe we could do a lefty. Maybe we could just pull lefty. Maybe there's a loophole. But yeah, I'd pull it East versus West, or King of the Table. Yep. So it's gonna be good. So guys, I'll probably hang out for another 5 minutes or something. If you got any questions, let me know. Um, yeah, because I think maybe I'm wrong. I know Jerry was contracted right arm, and I kept on trying to get a match with him lefty for the Dungeon Supermatch series. Um, because I know he could do lefty because he's not contracted lefty, but right he couldn't pull. But maybe that's how they do it, just right hand only, you know. So maybe his left arm is a free agent. It's only one way to know. We gotta. If anyone in the chat speaks Georgian, relay the message to Gennady, you know, and then we'll get it back. The next winning lotto numbers. I'm going to keep that a secret, you know, because after I hit the gym, I'm gonna go down and get a lottery ticket, and I'll be able to fund a lot more. You know, we'll fund everyone free trips for everybody. You know, if it goes right, if the number I'm thinking is the right one, you'll definitely be there, the Turtle Man. um, let's see. I don't think we missed any of the matches. Dustin's, do I know how many are going to be in the sit down? I do not know right now. Right now, what we are, the only, we have, this is what we have planned. We have only 2 classes. Um, it's going to be a over 200 pound and a under 200 pound. That's how the sit down is going to go. We're not sure on the turnout. It could be big, it could be small. That's why we just got the 2 classes. We might be able to, you know, do more classes, but we only have the trophies for 2 classes. So we'll have to talk to the guys. Like if we get a giant turnout, we can make another class, but we just don't. We only have trophies for 2 classes for that sit down. Let's see. Drew says, if I win the lotto, I would be donating hundreds of thousands to the event prize for pullers and pulling everywhere. That'd be great, you know. That'd probably change the sport for the good. You know, a whole bunch of money out there would make people want to get out there and stuff. Yeah, it should be interesting. It should be very interesting. But real quick, I don't think I talked about this. Maybe I did in the beginning, but we're going to talk about it again. To get your tickets for the pay-per-view Friday, shoot me a message on Facebook, Nicholas Stone, or Instagram _TeamStone777. The address is not public. And then if you know, in order to get the address to the location, the dungeon, you have to shoot me a message. You have to buy the ticket, and then you get the address. Yeah, imagine winning $50K for arm wrestling. That would be that would definitely change a lot of things. You know, could turn the sport into a underground hobby sport, into a you know, potentially a sport where people can make a living. You know. So the 2 halves of the Turtle Man coming together after production would be an action reel. So what do you mean? What do you mean by that? The 2 halves, the 2 halves of the Turtle Man coming together after production would be an epic reel. What do you mean by the 2 halves, Carolyn? Hey, what's up, Mike? You know, good to see you. Thanks for watching. That's even better. You know, you win 50,000, then you qualify for the main event for 250K. You know, people, you might even be able to retire for a couple of years, you know, with that kind of money. Give a year notice, and many would try to for that. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Oh, I see what you're saying. So I think I might have tricked you with what I said. We have so the guys are they're making the same turtle, but they just split the load. You know what I mean? So like they're both. I can't remember how many, but they're both making half, just to speed things up a little bit. So they're gonna be one solid piece. Like this is the demo version. You know what I mean? Like it comes apart, but this is the demo version. So just it's gonna be one solid piece, and silver is like this big silver, and then bronze would be like this big. So it's like a little turtle family, a little happy turtle family. Carolyn sometimes speaks in riddles, says what she sends at times, but that's what makes it fun, Carolyn says, Drew, you need to be the doorman next year. Yeah, he should be the doorman. But let me be clear. If Drew says there is a cover charge and he's expecting money that is false, do not give Drew your money. Just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Yeah, Mike, don't forget about the sit down. I bet your technique, your style is probably going to be pretty good in sit down. What about the shell for the naked turtle? You mean this guy? That's what it looks like. That's a naked turtle. But cover it back up. Solid gold, by the way. Solid gold. Yeah, you definitely get some people. You definitely get some people, but hopefully you get enough for the plane ride back. That's the goal. So the pay-per-view is going to be on YouTube. It's going to go for $9.99. It's on the paid memberships. It's a monthly recurring payment. So make sure if you only want to watch it just the one time, make sure you unsubscribe after you watch it. But there's also going to be once you are a member, there's going to be a discount. You will get as long as you're a member, you'll get a discount on Team Stone merchandise, STONEtv merchandise. So that's stuff like t-shirts. We got some arm wrestling straps. So these are the Team Stone arm wrestling straps. Got a nice buckle. So these go for $20, but you can use your discount if you're a member. You can use your discount. The t-shirts go for $30. You could also use a discount for coaching, and you can use that discount as many times as you want, as long as you're a member. And then I think that might be it, guys. I don't think there's anything else. Maybe I'll do another 20 seconds. If there's any other final questions about Turtle Man, let me know. I'm gonna get ready to lift. Brian, thanks for watching, but I'm just about to hop off. Unless you got any questions for Turtle Man, I'll stay on for another 30 seconds, maybe a minute. If you got any questions, let me know about Turtle Man. Done the Supermatch series. Yeah, almost. It still counts. That counts. I appreciate you watching. But this was a pretty good live. I don't know if you want to go back and watch it. There's a lot of good jokes, a lot of good fun. Carolyn says, great fun. Thanks, Nick. Excited for everyone who's attend. So much fun. Yep, I agree. And maybe we'll end it there. End it on a good note. Thanks for watching, guys. And I'll see you tomorrow probably. Have a good day. Oh, see you, Brian. See you, Drew.